On the news tonight, Ogun State government prosecutes violators of COVID-19 safety guidelines. Eyewitnesses give accounts of Nigeria Air Force plane crash in Abuja, plus updates from the world of sports. Good evening and thank you for joining us on NTA News at 7, coming to you from Channel 12, Nta Abeokuta. I am Yemi Dalimo. Coming to you from Nta Abeokuta on the Rock City, Yemi Dalimo is my name. We begin the news tonight with these stories coming from Abdullahi Ajia that says, after the unfortunate crash of the NAF Beechcraft King Air B3501 at the runway of the Nta Abeokuta International Airport in Abuja, Abdullahi Ajia visited the scene of the ill-fated incident where he met some eyewitnesses who gave account of what happened there.
For a community that is located very close to the airport like Basenjua, the sound of an aircraft either taking off or landing is part of their daily life. But the Sunday incident is one that got the community terrified and the nation in shock. Eyewitness accounts share with NTA News a moment they described as heroic.
Everybody was full of fear on how the aircraft was somehow tumbling on the air. Fear was on everybody's body. Everybody was just shouting the aircraft will not land in the village because many souls will be gone. In this incident, we must appreciate the pilot who was able to manage the aircraft to this point. Otherwise, it would have been something else yesterday. As he was coming, the young men that were working discovered the plane and they ran away. On their way running, the man tried to escape and then crashed in this very particular place where we are standing.
Some of us who took off from the church to come and see what is happening before getting to the very place that the incident occurred, we discovered that the plane has already landed. Immediately, that was when the thing now exploded.
Although life has since returned to normalcy in the community that is just some meters away from the scene of the crash, the residents who are also curious about the investigation as to what was the cause of the crash said they have not put behind the shock of what they witnessed, being hopeful that such will not occur again.
The residents of Basenjua community are beginning to pick from the shock of yesterday and life going back to normal. But this is the very spot where that incident happened, and what is remaining here is just the relics and ashes of the aircraft. Abdullahi Ajia, NTA News.
The President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, has in the meantime expressed shock and sadness over the tragic news of the crash of the Nigerian military aircraft in Abuja. In a statement by the Special Advisor to the President of the Senate on Media and Publicity, Ola Awoniyi, Senator Lawan sends his condolences to the families of those killed in the air accident and prays that Almighty Allah will comfort them at this time of grief. He also commiserated with the Nigerian Air Force and charged them to reinforce their safety measures against future occurrence. Similarly, the All Progressive Congress has expressed sadness over the fatal crash of the military aircraft Beechcraft King Air B5301 at the Abuja airport. In a statement by the Senator James Ackman, the National Secretary, Caretaker and Extraordinary Convention Planning Committee of the party, described as unfortunate the fatal plane crash, which brings to the fore the tireless work, sacrifice and hazard faced by the armed forces and other security services in their daily effort to keep the country safe. The APC also extends its condolence to the Nigerian Air Force, particularly the families, loved ones and colleagues of the 7 Air Force personnel that lost their lives in the plane crash following a reported engine failure. The Nigerian Army says it does not condone any act of indiscipline or violation of professional conduct. This is contained in a statement by the Director Army Public Relations, Brigadier General Mohammed Yerima, to refute a trending video allegedly depicting some personnel of the Nigerian Army extorting money from motorists in Edo. Brigadier General Mohammed Yerima notes that after critical analysis, it was discovered that the video is fake and orchestrated by mischief makers to tarnish the image of the Nigerian military. General Yerima, while urging the public to disregard the video, assured that the Nigerian Army is a professional force that operates in accordance with the rule of engagement and its constitutional mandates. The 53 passengers on board the Niger State Transport Authority bus abducted along Minna-Tegina Road in the past week have been released. The state governor, Abubakar Sani Bello, while receiving the victim, says concerted efforts are ongoing to secure the release of the students of Government Science College Kagara and others still in captivity. Uzaina Musa has the details.
The captives, comprising 24 men, 20 women and 9 children with signs and symptoms of malnutrition and tiredness, were received by the Niger State Governor Abubakar Sani Bello at the Government House, Minna. 1 week horrendous experience in the hands of their captors will no doubt remain with them for a long time to come. The Niger State government acknowledged that both kinetic and non-kinetic strategies were employed to secure the release of the abductees.
They've been in the hands of their captives for over a week. They've been through tremendous trauma. We are grateful to God Almighty for guiding us, protecting them, for showing us the way to secure their release. I also would like to thank their loved ones for the understanding they've shown in these trying moments.
The victims are currently undergoing both physical and mental evaluation before they can be reunited with their families. The state government also reassures of its commitment to provide a lasting solution to security challenges bedeviling the state. 8 out of the 61 passengers had earlier been rescued on the 16th of this month. Emena Hussein Musa, Nta News.
The popular saying, "Everything that has a beginning must surely have an end," was the exact word of encouragement by the father of the deceased students of the Government Science College Kagara, Ayuba Dan Asabe Bawa, as he strengthens other parents that are allegedly withdrawing their words from the school due to the activities of the bandits. Mukhtar Abubakar Wowo reports that Ayuba Bawa gave the inspiring words while receiving officials of the Niger State government who paid him a condolence visit in Kagara.
Benjamin Bawa Habila was the only student of the Government Science College Kagara who lost his life during the Wednesday's school abduction. The meeting between the parents of the deceased student and some of the officials of the Niger State government took place at the Divisional Police Headquarters Kagara. The State Commissioner for Education, Hannatu Jibril Saliu, who condoned and presented an undisclosed amount of money to the deceased parents, noted that though no amount of money can equate life, says the gesture is to identify with the family in their hour of needs and to also show that government is deeply touched by the loss.
We call him a hero because he died in the course of this battle. He was the one who actually raised the alarm for other students to be aware of the incidents in the school.
The deceased father, Ayuba Dan Asabe Bawa, thanked the Niger State government for the show of concern and expressed optimism with sincerity of purpose on the part of the government and other relevant institutions, saying the ugly trend shall come to pass.
This thing has come and it will surely go. Anything that has the beginning must surely has an end.
The delegation also visited the college where the killing and abduction took place. In Kagara, Nta Abeokuta, NTA News.
No fewer than 50 residents of Abeokuta, Ogun State capital, have been arrested and prosecuted by the Ogun State Special COVID-19 Task Force for violating COVID-19 safety guidelines in the state. Nta Abeokuta has the report.
After the incident of second wave of coronavirus pandemic in Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari assented to a new law prescribing a 6-month jail term for those disobeying COVID-19 safety protocols as a way of curbing the spread of the virus. And so many residents of Ogun State, especially traders who still see no reason in using face masks as part of non-pharmaceutical methods to stop the spread of COVID-19, were caught unaware when the Ogun State COVID-19 Task Force arrested and prosecuted offenders by a mobile court.
I'll be here because of I'm not using face mask because of this coronavirus.
Ká dojú wa ká bomú wa fún àìsàn corona tó wà níta òfin yẹn la fi ń ṣe nǹkan ṣe so lára wọn tó pé kọ́ máa lu òfin ògì náà.
Òfin dẹ̀ mú mi àdájọ́ ń lọ wí pé kí n ta san 3,000 naira kí wọ́n dẹ̀ 2,000 ìfiṣẹ́ wákàtí méjì lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ wọn kó kọ́tà.
The enforcement, according to the State Commissioner for Health, Tony Coker, became necessary following records of disobedience to safety guidelines by some residents. She says government is worried about the daily increase of cases of COVID-19 in the state.
Last year, positivity rate, which is the number of people that are positive out of the ones we've tested, was 0.7%. That is, in every 10 people that we test, one person might test positive. But as of this year, 2021, since January, for every 10 person that we test, 3 to 4 people will be positive. That means it's about 25% to 30% of our citizens are actually carrying the virus.
Those arrested and prosecuted by mobile courts were sentenced to community service by clearing the surrounding of Kuto Market for 2 hours with an option of fine.
The money the government is expending on COVID-19 issue, we could as well use it for some other important things. The isolation center is the government that's taking responsibility. When any citizen of Ogun State contract this COVID-19, it becomes the responsibility of the government. And we're spending a lot of money. And this money can be used for some other developmental projects. So I want to encourage everybody, you take responsibility for your life by making sure that you protect your friends, you protect your family, and you protect the citizen by putting on the face mask.
NTA News observed that since the enforcement of compulsory use of face masks, the use of the materials has increased, even though some are still recalcitrant, while some residents have suddenly become face mask hawkers. In Abeokuta, Nta Abeokuta, NTA News.
Ogun State Judicial Panel of Investigation on Police Brutality, Human Rights Violation, and Extrajudicial Killing says it has discovered that a police sergeant, Benga Olajide, who was demoted to the rank of a corporal following misconduct, was promoted as an inspector of police 2 years ago. This was after a room trial on attempted murder case for stabbing one Mr. Olushola Oladunjoye without justification. In a statement by the media officer to the panel sitting at Ishabo, Femi Oshipiton, the panel learned that Olajide was transferred from Abeokuta to Ondo State, where he reported for duty as a sergeant and got promoted to inspector of police 2 years later. The panel found out that the victim, Mr. Oladunjoye, jumped over a motorcycle in the front of a bank in Abeokuta before the unfortunate incident occurred 3 years ago. Mr. Olushola Oladunjoye is, however, seeking for justice before the panel. The chairman of the panel, Justice Solomon Olugbemi, while reacting, stated that the officer in question had been invited for his own side of the story. The bipartite meeting between the federal government and organized labor has resolved that appropriate pricing leading to reduction in the prices of gas by companies supplying gas to generating and distribution companies be effected for downward review in electricity tariff. This is when both parties adopted the report of the Technical Committee on Electricity Tariff.
The gas pricing to the generating companies is actually at $2.80, and we have proposed that it should be reduced to $1.50. That will actually affect also the downward review of the electricity tariff. We have also looked at the inefficiency in the system, especially metering, which had become a major problem. But fundamentally, we have also said that the entire privatization process is due for review.
We adopted the report of the Electricity Committee, made some adjustment, and transform that technical committee into an implementation committee. They are not a standing committee to implement all the recommendations they gave to us here. Some paperwork has to be done, and once that is done, the price of ampere of electricity will go down, and once it goes down, the consumers will benefit.
On the premium motor spirit, Labour has proposed a local refinery template used by most OPEC countries, where production cost pricing method used before the 1998 for fixing the prices of PMS was adopted.
Using the import pricing method, which I think is only Nigeria out of the OPEC countries that have been using that method. That entails that 100% of what we consume will be imported. That is, you sell your crude oil, then you import finished product. That to us is not sustainable. It's exporting our jobs. And our first priority is to see how the refineries can be fixed.
Like I said, work in progress. The governors are going to discuss this on Thursday. They have discussed this at the National Economic Council. And so everybody is involved because we find ourselves in dire straits. No money for subsidy.
Emmanuel Ayemiro reports that progress on the new resolutions adopted is expected to be reported in April by the Committees on Electricity and Premium Motor Spirits. Members of the All Progressive Congress in Anambra State have been encouraged to populate their polling units through active participation in the ongoing party's registration and revitalization exercise. APC leader in Anambra State, Dr. Chris Ngige, gave the advice after his revitalization exercise in Alo. Chinyere Fesi Okoye has details of the report.
Accompanied by some stakeholders of APC in Anambra State to perform the revalidation of his membership exercise, Dr. Ngige used the medium to reassure people of Anambra State of dividends of good governance and democracy. He urged the party leaders, stakeholders, and other APC faithful to move out of their comfort zone to get more members for the ruling All Progressive Congress Party.
We are working to fortify the booths, populate the booths with real persons so that on election day, those people will come out.
Your chairman and his executive, they are determined to bring up this party to its glory. So give them the maximum cooperation.
To review the ongoing registration and revalidation exercise and chart the way forward for the forthcoming governorship election via suggestions from stakeholders on how to fix the observed gray areas, the party held stakeholders meeting, the third within 3 months in Oka, the state capital. The meeting climaxed with the inauguration of 5 Sienna cars provided by the party for the registration committee, including the one for escorts, among other logistics support to achieve fruitful registration and revalidation exercise in Anambra. Meanwhile, Dr. Ngige also held a meeting with local government chairmen and some other stakeholders of APC, all hinged on deliberations on how to achieve the APC target in Anambra State come November 6, 2021. And the meeting also climaxed with presentation of some edible welfare packages to encourage party members and officials. In Oka, Chinyere.
Super Falcons to clash with Equatorial Guinea in Turkey. Details on sports updates.
Welcome to Sports Updates. Super Falcons are up against African opponent Equatorial Guinea on Tuesday at the Invitational Turkish Women's Cup in Atlanta, Turkey. The Falcons go into this game with a 6-point advantage from their last 2 matches with no goals conceded.
I'm really happy and I'm proud of my girls and looking forward for the third game. In the World Cup, I lost my chance, but for the coach to believe in me and to know what I can do in the field, I'm so excited and I'm happy about it.
Staying with football, Nigeria's representative on the continent, Enyimba International Football Club, are drawn in Group A of the CAF Confederation Cup. The People's Elephants have ES Setif of Algeria, South Africa's Orlando Pirates, and Ali Benghazi of Libya to contend with. Enyimba, 2-time winners of the CAF Champions League, have competed in the Confederation Cup twice. Meanwhile, former president of the Nigeria Football Federation, Aminu Megari, has advocated policy reforms in the nation's football sector. Megari was speaking when he hosted former Super Eagles forward Emmanuel Emenike in Bauchi.
The entire football system requires restructuring, so that let us start from the scratch. Let us from this. I mean, we have talent all over the country. You go to every state today, you make a national team. That's my belief.
It's for them to play with their heart, play with passion, and then try and make Nigeria proud.
Mahmoud Ibn Muhammad reports that while in Bauchi, Emmanuel Emenike also paid a condolence visit to the Emir of Bauchi, Alhaji Rilwan Suleiman Adamu, over the death of his uncle, Yakubu Adamu Jumba. And that's it on Sports Updates. I am Tamara Ebiwe.
And it on that note that we wrap up the news tonight. We thank you for watching. Good night.
The Lord told me to speak with you and share with you is this: with God, all things are possible. With God, all things are possible.
Join us every Saturday on Nta Abeokuta via Star Times Channel 103 and our social media platforms for a spiritual refreshing with Christ Faith Tabernacle International Cathedral, Ebenezer Building, 186 Perry Street, Woolwich, London, SE 186NL. On our program, Voice of Hope, with presiding Bishop Alfred T.B. Williams, with a rebroadcast Wednesday, 7:30 p.m.
May the name of the God of Jacob protect you. May he send you help in this week from his sanctuary. May he grant you support this week from Zion.
Make it a date with us for spiritual uplift on Christ Faith Tabernacle, Voice of Hope, Saturdays and Wednesdays, 7:30 p.m. on Nta Abeokuta via Star Times Channel 103 and our social media handles.
Jesus is Lord.
Easter is here again. Yes, it's 2021 Easter season, and Nta Abeokuta is set to bring to your viewing the best of the teachings of our Lord Jesus Christ. Here is calling on churches, individuals, corporate and non-corporate organizations to sponsor any of our programs to propagate the gospel of Jesus Christ. Time of repentance, time of redemption. Who is Jesus? And some of our programs ready for sponsorship. For further inquiries, please call 003-388-4771, 0803-572-6550 or 0706-226-0650. And you have a deal. Jesus is Lord.